Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Didn't We Just? Today's topic, didn't we just have the worst job? Yes, we all had a pretty bad job at one point. So this is a show where four guys get together and talk about, well, just about everything and also nothing. I'm Grant. I'm hosting today, and with me are Trent and Tyler. Trevor decided that moving into a new house and unpacking is more important than a podcast that we currently don't make any money on, so yeah, he's not with us today. We grew up together, and now we're bringing our conversations to you, unscripted and probably definitely a little chaotic. So sit back, tune in, and let's get into it. So, worst jobs. Trent, you think you've got the worst job lined up? Scooping poop out of a pool?
Probably.
Why don't you tell us about it?
Yeah, let's see. My first job was at the aquatic center in Moses Lake, and I was on the grounds crew. Probably the worst position at the pool you could have. And I just remember it was probably a month into the job. The head grounds crew guy came up to me. He's like, someone pooped in the pool. You got to go in there and scoop it up. I didn't have a swimsuit or anything, and everybody's just standing around the pool watching me go in and fish out the Snickers in the pool.
Snickers.
Brownies.
And how many turds did you rescue from the pool? How long were you there? You were there 3 then?
3 summers I worked at the pool.
3 summers.
Scooping poops.
Do you have a count of how many poops you got out?
No, I did not count.
I almost forgot that they did. That they pulled everyone out of the pool for that. That would be embarrassing doing it in front of everyone. And then they just
watch you walk into the pool and scoop the poop. And then they're like, here's some chlorine, just pour it around and act like you're disinfecting it, but it doesn't really do anything.
Well, that pool had so much chlorine in it anyway that I think it disinfected the moment it got out.
I mean, doesn't every public pool have the amount of chlorine to kill anything on contact?
Yeah.
Pretty much just swimming in bleach, right?
Basically.
What else did you do for that job, though? You didn't just stand around waiting to scoop poop. It can't have been that bad, right?
Yeah, every hour I had to walk around and check all the trash, pick up trash, clean the bathrooms every hour. At least I wasn't a girl, because there was one day some girl in the bathroom grabbed her poop and smeared it all over the walls, and so the girls' grounds had to go in and wash down the bathroom because there's poop everywhere.
Oh, some people I just gotta wonder what gets into your head to do something like that.
Why would you want to touch your own poop?
Hey, it's better than touching someone else's.
You have experience with that, Tyler?
Yeah, Tyler.
No, I don't. You know, I can't say that I've ever grabbed my poop out of the toilet and gone and smeared it on the wall. I've never.
You have experience grabbing other people's poop?
Well, I suppose my first job. Well, not my first job. My worst job. I got to be a home health aide. Got to be careful about stories because there are some medical laws. But I definitely did spend my a fair share of time cleaning up after people's business. There was certainly someone that I had to he literally had a crane that I had to lift him up on because he was very, very heavy, and he was very large, and his poop came out very large as well. And it was not only was I had to lift him up, but he did not like getting touched down there either, and he wasn't all with it, and so he would just kind of try to hit me every day. I got to get hit a couple of times while trying to clean out his disaster. So not only are you dealing with a bunch of junk, but you're also fighting against this guy that does not want to be cleaned.
And how much did you get paid for this? Because that sounds pretty bad, and it sounds like someone should have to pay a lot of money to have someone go to their house and clean them.
I got paid a couple bucks over a minimum wage.
Mm.
Yeah, not worth it.
How long
at
did you
all.
last at that job?
Well, I might have been there for a couple of years actually.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, I had a family I
did
had
you-
to take. I didn't look out. I wasn't looking for other alternative jobs for some stupid reason.
I've had good jobs. I start looking at new jobs after like 3 months. I mean, I know that's a problem too, but if it's a bad job, the second I have a chance to look for a new job, I'm looking.
I can't believe it
Yeah.
lasted a couple years.
That is so long. That is awful. It's one thing if you're trying to go into the medical profession, but I don't believe you are unless you've changed your mind in the last week.
Nope, I do not want to go into the medical profession whatsoever. Yeah, don't know why I got that one. That was a stupid decision, but I got it and I did it, and good experience. Till later.
So what finally made you quit or get a new job or whatever? End that chapter of your life.
So they had asked me to do a course for. They wanted me to do this course so that I could better take care of people that had mental disabilities, and they offered. And then when I asked them, so how much is the pay raise on this going to be, and they told me 25 cents, and I said, yeah, I'm done. There's no future in this place. There's nowhere going anywhere. We need to find somewhere that we need to find a job that will actually appreciate me.
So that's when you started looking for a new job, or that's when you quit?
Well, see, they said so they had told me that, okay, you're gonna have to give us we'll pay for the course, but you're gonna have to give us like a year commitment with this with the job, since we're gonna pay for the course. And it's like, it's 25 cents. That's what we're talking about here. We're talking about 25 cents extra. And so yeah, no, I started looking for a job that very day. But no, I did not quit outright. I went and looked for a job, got the new job, and then I gave them my notice and started my new job.
All I can imagine is them with like a fishing pole with $1 on it, like that. It's like, I got $1. I got $1. Trying to get you to go and for it. Except it's just 25 cents every 4 hours. I got you $1.
Well, you almost got it. Just gotta work here another 10 more months.
So that's my job. Grant, what's your worst job that you've ever had?
Oh man, I've had a couple of worse jobs. I don't know. That's what I've been trying to figure out. One of the worst jobs it started out, and it looks pretty good on a resume still. My freshman year of college, I had a roommate that was doing an internship at a small company, and he's like, hey, we're looking for more interns. Do you want to sign up? And I'm like, I really don't know anything. I'm a freshman. I've taken like 2 engineering classes, but sure, I'll do it. And they hired me. That should have been a red flag right there, because I knew absolutely nothing. I knew how to do SolidWorks, and so that's all they wanted. They needed someone that knew SolidWorks so that they could modify an existing drawing to have different dimensions. And that is what I did. Like it was a drawing of pipes, like just PVC pipes, and I just had to go in and change the radius and change a couple of angles every once in a while. And yeah, that was what I did for the last 3 months of my freshman year.
That sounds like so much.
And then the summer I went home and I worked on the farm, which was a bad job, but I also loved it at the same time. It definitely was not the worst job ever. It had crappy parts of it and long hours and everything, but I got paid more than I could most places, and I don't have much, other than it's farm work, it's really not that bad. And then I went back to the same company when I went back to school, and I think I lasted a month before I was literally falling asleep at the desk while I was working, and I showed up one day like 15 minutes late. It was a half-hour drive out there. I was working, I think, 10-15 hours a week, and I showed up like 15 minutes late, and not the engineer that was over me, but his boss told the engineer over me, like, hey, you know that you came in late today. Like, we had you on camera coming in late. Like, you need to make sure that you're here on time. And I was just like, this is ridiculous. I don't do anything. No one has looked at what I've done the entire time I was there. I thought maybe when I go back, I'd know a little bit more, then we do something else. No, not. And so I think a week later, I was just like, well, am I making really any money from this? No. So I just was like, hey, like, this isn't really working with my schedule. I'm like, oh, that's fine. I totally understand. We don't even care. And they're like, oh, like, you want me to finish out my 2 weeks? Like, I know that's like a thing. So I'm like, nah, I don't even come back. Don't worry about it. I was like, okay, I'm out of here. Peace. And I haven't talked to any of them ever since.
Nice.
So that's one of my worst jobs. But yeah, so I was literally falling asleep at my desk. It was pretty great. The other worst job, also in college, Krispy Kreme.
Oh yeah, I remember
Krispy
that.
Kreme for a month. The job itself would not have been awful, but the management was awful. So I signed up to work part-time, right? Because I was going to school. And I said, hey, I can work like early in the morning, get things up and going and on whatever. Then I have to go to class, and then I could like work in the night, like whatever, you know. Can't be that bad. Like, that's what I'm expecting. And then they come out and they say, oh, there's actually 3 shifts. You got the morning, the swing, and then you've got the graveyard shift. Looks like your schedule fits with the graveyard shift. I was like, that's not exactly what I meant, but I guess I can tough it out a bit. Like, I can work a graveyard shift once or twice a week. And then, so the store was just opening, so there was training for a week. So I had to go to training in the afternoon for a week. And whatever, that wasn't, like, I was like, okay, they're just getting open, like, whatever. This is gonna slow down once they open up the store. Then a couple days before, no, I think the day before they opened. So I was working when they opened the doors for the first time. I had been working for 8 hours before they opened the doors the first time, making donuts. And so, yeah, but that wasn't the worst part. So anyways, yeah, I was there the whole time. So I trained for a week, and then I started working at night shifts. I worked like, they opened in like the middle of the week. So I worked Thursday, Friday, and whatever, I don't know, overnight, you know. And then I was like, okay, like I'm done. Like I gotta have a couple days off. Finals are coming up. And then I look at the schedule, and I was scheduled for like 1 day off and then 3 days in a row. And then 1 day off and then 3 days in a row. And I was like, what is going on here? Like, I signed up to work part-time. I cannot work as many hours. Like, oh, well, because we work Wednesday to Wednesday or Saturday to Saturday, something, wherever, those are actually 2 separate weeks. So you're still only working part-time. I was like, I am working 6 out of 7 days in a row. Like, I don't care how you split things up. That is not part-time. And so... Yeah. Oh, that's right. I quit that job because so I was fed up with this and whatever. They were being annoying. They could not figure out how to get a college kid to work there, pretty much. And then that's when I got the internship opportunity. And so I was like, hey, I got a better intern. I got an internship. It's gonna work a lot better for my future career. And they're like, okay, whatever. Like, they also said, like, don't even worry about your 2 weeks. Don't even worry about the shifts you have scheduled for next week. Like, we'll figure it out. I was just like, okay, peace out. I'm out of here. So, yeah, it makes no sense. And then I went to a job that was also bad, so.
Hey, at least you got a Krispy Kreme hat out of it.
I did get a Krispy Kreme hat. I still have that hat. And I got a lot of freedom. I made a lot of friends. When we were doing training, we just made donuts and we couldn't sell them. So I brought home a lot of donuts and people were happy. So, yeah. Well, didn't you get a bunch of donuts from me, Trent?
Probably. I don't remember, but probably.
I didn't get any donuts.
No, that's what you get for going to a different school.
That's how things
I thought
go.
that was a sore memory for everyone, that donut time. I guess it was just me.
Oh, you just made me remember a job that I thought I would be able to do. I started this job for a company called Idahoan, pretty big company. They process potatoes. Yeah, no, I know. So they process potatoes.
That's real original.
Hey Trent, I'll tell you, if you go into your store, you can find some potato products that will have Idahoan on it, so you might just remember.
Are these
So-
the crappy instant mashed potatoes?
That's one of the things they do.
Oh, those things are the worst.
So, anyway, I got this job, and it was gonna be 3 days. I thought it was, 3 days a week, 8 hours. 8 hours. It was gonna be from 12 to 8 in the evening. Is how the shift worked, and I just kind of figured, I've got a class at 9. I'll just go straight from work and I'll go to my class, and we'll be just fine. First off, I mean, and I know a lot of people do this, but I was up the entire day doing stuff, and then because you've got dorms, I just really couldn't sleep in the afternoon, and so I get to this shift at 12 o'clock.
Wait, midnight? You started at midnight?
Yeah,
or-
midnight. Yeah, midnight.
Okay, I thought you said you started at noon.
No, I'm getting to this at midnight, and
Okay.
I'm already tired, and it's kind of hot and humid in there. Is what they have, and the job that I'm doing is literally scooping up mashed potatoes, like you would scoop up snow. Like that's how it felt. You never think about scooping up these mash, because they have these like big roller masher things, and they're
With a
usually
shovel?
pretty. So what would happen is they had these really big rollers that would that would take the potatoes and would roll them into mashed potatoes. But what would happen is that some of it would fall down. And our job was to scoop up the potatoes and stick it back into the roller with a shovel, so that we're not wasting the potatoes that fell down on the ground. That was literally the job that you would do for 8 hours. And they had some other positions, and I suppose they could kind of rotate you out. But I lasted a week because it was humid, and I was like falling asleep while shoveling potatoes. And like of all the things, and because it was humid, it was like the perfect conditions for me to sleep, and I didn't get any sleep all day, and so I lasted a week there. I would get
What does humid have to do with a good condition to fall asleep? Can you tell me
okay,
that?
I'm going to tell you right now. Okay, I hate sleeping hot or humid, but here's the thing: when I'm super tired, for
So you
some
tell me
reason,
how is this supposed to make sense?
You said that it's the perfect condition, but it's not the perfect condition.
okay, let me tell you, if it's humid out, if it's humid and I'm super tired, I can't keep my eyes open. I'm gonna die. It's just gonna happen. We're gonna fall asleep. Nothing to do there. So, I went to a week of that. I went 3 days, and it was every other day. So I mean, I kind of would I'd kind of get some sleep like every other night, and I was like, this is
You're in
just not
college.
gonna.
You don't really need sleep.
Yeah, I would stay up till 1, 2, 3 in the morning.
Oh man.
And I worked 40 hours a week all through college.
I didn't. Well, that's why. But that's why it was just the timing. But it wasn't just that. I just wasn't going to be scooping potatoes for my college time. It just wasn't going to happen.
Oh man.
Well, speaking of potatoes, I also worked a job with potatoes.
Oh, you did. That's right.
Yeah. After graduating high school, I worked at Walmart for a bit, and then it was potato harvesting season, And James Baker was like, you want to work? You want to do the potato harvest? And I was like, heck yeah. It was like so much more money than Walmart. But literally, I showed up, and he's like, okay, you're going to guide the semi trucks or the trucks with the potatoes back up to this conveyor belt. You're gonna hook your conveyor belt up. You're gonna turn on the conveyor belt for the potato truck. He's gonna unload all of his potatoes, and then you're gonna send them off and do the same thing over again. And I did that from sun up to sundown, Monday through Saturday. I think
That's a farmer's job.
1 week I hit 96 hours. And then I literally stayed in this like 5x5 little spot all day. I didn't listen to music. I didn't do anything but just.
You just were out there.
And you probably weren't getting overtime either, right?
No, you don't get overtime for.
You don't get overtime there at all.
Did
he just give you the job, or did you like sign paperwork and legally get the job, or was he just kind of paying you?
I signed paperwork and stuff, so it was all good. But I mean, I don't know why, but the days went by so fast, even though it was like the same thing over and over and over for like 3 months. I did that.
The question is, did you just like at the end of that, were you ready just to pick up a potato and just eat it right there out of the truck?
They had some big potatoes, but there was one potato. They said I could take as many potatoes as I wanted home.
They wouldn't even notice.
No, they wouldn't. You would never take enough potatoes home for them to notice.
I had my little stash, if I saw one that looked really good. But there was this one that came out of this semi-truck, literally the size of a 2-liter bottle of soda. And I snagged it. And we made mashed potatoes for like 30 people with the one potato.
The reason why you don't see those at the store is because they'll go in. That's probably what happens. They put them in. They make mashed potatoes out of them or anything.
Well,
what you're gonna see at the store.
Could you imagine that in a bag?
It's just like 2 potatoes in the bag.
2 potatoes, but this huge one.
Here's your
See, they don't
sack of potatoes.
All their potatoes that you're gonna get at the store. They have their they have the rules on how big and stuff they want, and the deformed ones and the big ones or the small ones go to do other things.
No, I think
James. How long those French fries would have been?
Yeah, James was saying these potatoes were going to be French fries. So if you ever see a long French fry, just know that yes, there are big potatoes out there.
Hey, you think you've got your McDonald's French fries there, and there's just like 3 potatoes. There's like 3 French fries that are 3 times as tall as the other ones.
Yeah.
It's like, I know where that potato came from. It's that Washington soil for you.
No, man.
There was only like one bad day on that whole job, and it was just like raining all day, and my gloves were wet, and like you have to plug in the semi-truck or the truck with the potatoes. So you take the plug from your conveyor belt and plug it into the semi-truck. And my gloves were wet, and when I plugged it in, this cord was a little jank, and I swear it shocked me so bad. My arm went numb for like 10 minutes, and I was like, oh, that didn't feel good at all.
Oh man, that does remind me of the crappiest farm job that I had, and the tasks that I had. It was like, I never worked harvest farm because I was back at school, so I didn't really have to worry about that. I did do hay, and I was allergic to the Timothy hay. I puffed up a couple times, but that wasn't the end of the world. The worst part, it was pretty bad. One day I showed them a picture of shower one night, and they're like, yeah, that looks like a problem. Next time, have someone else go under the tractor to fix something. I was like, okay, you don't have to tell me twice. But the worst, we harvested onion seed, and so we had to go through with a swather, and we'd cut down all the onion tops, they'd bloom, and then all the seeds are up at the bulb. When you've probably never seen onions like when they get that big, and they've got the flower on top. So they had the flowers and everything. We'd go through the swather and chop off the tops, and they had to lay down on paper in the middle of it. So my job was to sit on the outside of the swather while they were cutting millions of onions and watch paper roll out underneath, and then tell the driver when they ran out of paper, and we had to open up the next roll. And so I did that, and we were out there like 16. We would start at like 4 in the morning, so that because it got up to like 95 degrees. I had an umbrella, and we were moving like 4 miles an hour. So yeah, I would just sit there. I would just cry for the first half hour, and then I just got numb because there was just onion juices everywhere. And I would get home, and my mom would just be like, yeah, just put all your clothes right in the washing machine, run it 4 times, and you just go take an hour-long shower, and then go back to work tomorrow and do it again.
Yeah. I would come home just like caked in dirt. I'd blow my nose, just dirt boogers. And like my ears were just, I'd get a Q-tip, just come out black with just dirt and like, I would wake up before my parents would wake up to go to work, and I'd get home and they'd be in bed asleep, and I'm like, what is this life? For 3 months I didn't like interact with anybody.
But you made a boatload of cash, right?
Oh yeah, it was ooga.
Yeah, life of a farmer during harvest season is not.
For a recent graduate without a college degree,
Yeah.
for a temporary job, you made a boatload of cash.
Yeah.
Put it that way. Very specific situation.
It paid for the next 2.5 years, basically, from that one job.
Yeah, I think I worked like 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks, my first summer out there, and it was enough. It more than bought me a car and got me moved into college, on my way. Then I came back home for the summer and was poor and said, hey, you paid me a lot of money last summer for doing nothing, and they gave me a raise, so I guess they liked me well enough.
Can't deny it.
But man, that onions, I forgot about that. That was a memory I had blocked purposefully out of my
That would
mind.
definitely be one produce I would not want to work with is onions all day long. That's
bad.
because my eyes are they get sensitive to onions when I just cut them at home. I can't imagine spending the entire day with onions.
Oh man, yeah. I ate a couple of onions out of the ground because it's like, is this gonna affect me at all? It still did. They were not good. They were also not onions meant for eating because they were seed onions and they tasted like crap in general. But man, yeah.
But some of that farm equipment is pretty cool. They were trying out some like experimental potato sorting system when I was there, and it was basically this giant vacuum. And so the potatoes would go through this conveyor belt to like sort out the rocks and all the other junk. And then at the end of the conveyor belt, it would suck the potatoes up, and anything heavier than a potato would fall. And it was like the weirdest thing. You'd see these big boulders and they'd fall. And then you'd see these rocks that are like the same size as a potato, but they would fall and the potato would get sucked up. And it was like the weirdest thing how it could just like sort through the potatoes and all the potatoes would get sucked up, but anything else would fall down. It was the weirdest thing.
There's a lot of money into making farming more efficient.
Yeah.
That goes in there.
Cool.
That is insane. All right, let's switch gears a little bit. What are some of the best jobs that you had, or looking back, like you didn't realize how good you had it, or I don't know, current jobs that you love and what makes them great? Tyler, you gonna start this time?
I get to start looking back.
Something good that maybe you took for granted, or
here's a job that I actually kind of took for granted that wasn't so bad. I worked probably for about 6 months in a, oh my goodness, what the heck do you call those? You know when you're in a factory and you've got the things that lift things up? Why can't I think of this? Yeah, there you go, forklift. So this company, I'm sitting here like it's in my head. So this company, they made forklifts. It was in North Carolina, and obviously, they're doing things in parts, and so my job was to put together the actual part that lifts. Most of them had 3 different parts to them, so that they could lift. Like these guys would make some big forklifts, and so I got to pull this stuff down. It would come on a conveyor right after getting painted black, and then I got to put them together. And you know what? It actually was not that bad. For 8 hours a day. The only thing I didn't like is that they were very common for us to get overtime on. Actually, it was 10 hours. What am I thinking? It's 10 hours a day. I was supposed to work Monday through Thursday, 10 hours a day. But they would usually give us 8 hours of overtime on Friday and then also on Saturday. So for most weeks, I was working 56 hours. I wish that was not the case, but to be honest, it was kind of a really simple, easy job to do. It was simple. It paid well, and
it wasn't like monotonous, boring, simple.
No, it wasn't like super monotonous because they make a lot of different forklifts. The parts that come they're a little bit different. So like sometimes you would get one that only had 2 pieces you had to go put on with it, and I don't know. Lifting these things up using cranes. It's because it's not like I can lift up any of this stuff. You're using cranes and stuff the whole time. I don't know. It's kind of fun to move them around and things like that. And you're just literally spending your whole time kind of nudging it while it's in the air while you're pressing a button to slowly push it along. As long as you're not an idiot and don't put your hand in the wrong spot, you're good. I never put my hand in the wrong spot, and I don't know. It wasn't so bad.
That actually doesn't sound bad at all. It sounds like it should sound bad, but the part I miss most of my job is that I don't physically make things and like actually putting stuff together. I think that's fun. So.
No, it was like literally all it was is you had to stick grease. I had to stick grease in there. So I put on the grease, and then you'd stick on the grease, and then you'd place one down, and then you're waiting for the next one to come, and then you stick it. There was a special, because they have the ball roller things. So there's a special way that you had to stick them together to get them all in. And then when you were done with it, you lifted it up to the next station, and they'd take it from that station and they would put on some other things that were there. And it was a team. Everyone had a little pieces that you were doing. And then on top of that, if you ever had to wait for something, you just go help the guy in front of you. It's like, oh, you're going really slow. I have I've got one right here that's already done, and I've got one behind. So let's get you going off a little bit quicker so that I can actually hand this to you, because I couldn't give him one of the ones I'd finished until he was done with his part. Or sometimes one of these would come off and it didn't spend enough time in the paint in like the paint cooler area, and these things would be hot because what they're going to paint them and then they want them to dry really fast, and so they go through an oven, and so sometimes these things would go like you feel like you're going to burn your hand to touch them. I don't have any interest in burning my hand for a job, so we'd let those sit for just a little bit before we'd go and touch those with them. But
you don't get paid enough to burn yourself?
No, I don't. But I actually, on that position, I worked with this other guy. I wasn't even working alone. They had it 2 people. They felt like that this position was a 2-person job, and the other guy was super chill. Like we just talked about a bunch of junk. He had he was very opinionated. I'm very opinionated, so we just talked about things, and I don't know, it was nice. I definitely don't know that much about Southern culture, but that's kind of what I was getting to know is from all these people, learn a little bit about Southern culture.
That's good. All right, my job that I think was actually pretty good. I ref soccer for the longest time, and most people, I got yelled at a lot. There's really only one match that I was like, man, this is ridiculous. Everyone's just being really stupid right now, and why am I here? Like, this game people would probably be happier if I just left. Both teams, it was a JV high school soccer game, and the teams were friends at the end of the game because they all just hated me. It did not feel good in the moment. Not gonna lie, I was. Why am I still reffing?
Did you make bad calls, or was it this that they thought that you made bad calls?
I don't think I made bad calls. I made calls that I even don't usually make. They were just I don't know why I was looking for things, and so I still think that they were calls that happened, yes. Calls that should have been made, I don't know. I haven't thought that much about it. I haven't lost sleep over this match at all. Like, I really did not care that much. That's just the one time where I was like, I was really annoying in the teammate. I mean, high school kids are just idiots to begin with, right? So, but, I mean, I've ref soccer. I ref soccer from the time I was 10, and no, maybe even 9. I think I was 9 when I started reffing soccer.
They let a 9-year-old ref soccer?
Yes.
What?
It helps that my mom was in charge of scheduling the refs, and so she loved it because she would just send me out and do whatever. Man,
because I have to assume that you're reffing like 5-year-olds, right?
Yeah. Well, when I was 9 and 10, I was reffing 9 and 10-year-olds. I was the linesman holding the flag, but I was making $10 a game. I think 9 or 10-year-old. That's $10 an hour. That was more than minimum. I think maybe it was more. I don't know.
Well, for a 9 or 10-year-old, that's a lot of money.
It was less than an hour. Yeah, it was a lot of money. I was making like $300 a year between the 2 seasons. But then because I ref so much, when I was in high school, I was reffing high school soccer when I was a junior in high school. It was funny to walk into class and have some of the girls soccer players like, hey, who's reffing our game tonight? And they're just like, yes. I mean, that was the good thing is they did say that I was better. It helps when the other refs are like 70, 60s. Like,
Grody.
You mean they can't keep up with?
They just can't keep. It doesn't
everyone?
doesn't matter how much they know the rules, how good they can't keep up with the game. You can't be a good ref. But yeah, I mean, it was fun. Just watching soccer, and no one can tell you anything different than what you're doing because you're in charge. I don't think I ever went on any power trips, but it's very possible I did. But it was fun. I liked all the guys I refed with. They were all funny and just out there. I mean, people were just playing soccer. Most people are happy when they're playing soccer.
Most people.
Most
parents, no.
10-year-old parents are literally the worst. Like, they don't care how their kids are doing, like, before they're 10, but once they're 10, like, it's serious. And then after that, the kids start to care more than the parents, and the parents are just like, can we stop going to soccer games? Like, we've been doing this for how many years?
Hey, it's their own fault. They're the ones that got them into it.
Hey, soccer's a great sport.
I didn't say it's not a great sport.
You're just saying it's their own fault.
I'm just saying that the parents are the ones that pushed them into it, right? Because by the way you just described it, you said, see, the parents would take them to the games, and then when they hit 10, they're like, the parent just thinks, you're old enough now to actually care about this. I'm going to push you into it. Until they realize just how much of a commitment it is.
Yeah. And then the parents back off, and that's when everyone who doesn't care about soccer really starts to drop out. And that's why the kids care more. They actually like it and are there because they want to be, and parents are no longer forcing them to be there. All right, Trent, what about you? Good memories of jobs?
Let's see. Probably my best memory of a job is working at House Sporting Goods Warehouse. I was there for 4 years, all through college. All I did was scan. Product would show up and I'd scan it into inventory. That was it. All day. But after 2 years...
So why was that good?
It was just mesmerizing. I got to look at all the cool stuff, all the stuff I wanted to buy.
Oh man, that's true. You did send me so many things.
Mountain bikes, anything you'd find at the sporting goods
guns.
store. And then they put me in charge of all the guns. Every gun that came into House Sporting Goods went through my hands for 2 years. And let's just say there was a lot of guns. Because
he wasn't scanning boxes all day. He was scanning things he was interested in.
I'd open the boxes and I'd check everything. So yeah, I got to actually look at it. And
like, would you have to like open up a shoebox and make sure there was 2 shoes in there or what?
Only if like it was busted up or something like that, or if you'd pick up the shoebox and you'd know if there was something wrong.
Oh, so I understand. If you got a big box and you're like, I'm gonna open this up, see if there's any skis in there. You got a nice long box. I want to see what type of ski. So you would open the ones up that you wanted to.
I knew after like a year, I knew the boxes. I'd be like, oh, that one is like baseballs. I'm gonna avoid that. That's trash. I'm gonna
That
go
sounds
over here and go to the skis, and I'll scan the skis because I can look at those, and it's entertaining for me.
So anyone that
were
got
you, like-
effective baseball stuff, it's your fault because you didn't actually look at it.
Yeah.
Most of them, like you were taking them like out of a big shipping box.
Yeah,
You're
it'd be
taking like the little items like you would see on the shelf. Or...
It'd be like a semi truck would show up, and it'd have 4 pallets, and it'd be like, let's say clothing, or it'd be like from Under Armour, and so I knew, okay, these boxes are shoes, these boxes are clothes. Clothes weren't that bad. They're like easy, and it takes a long time, and you can just
so you would take each garment out and scan it and put that in a different box.
Yeah, so I'd take it out of the box, and then I'd put it in another box, and then after I was done scanning that, I'd put a sticker on it that says clothing, and it was either going to the Orem store, the Logan store, or the warehouse. And so when I would scan the product, it would say it's going to Orem, so I'd have a Orem clothing box, and I'd put it in that box. And so I was like filtering it out for the stores, because if it went to the warehouse, that means it was extra, and if they sold it in the store, it would get picked later, and they'd send it to the store and replenish the stock.
Man.
But yeah, it was just like easy, and time went by fast, just like the potato harvest, and it was just things that I liked. So the mountain bikes are super fun to look at. The guns definitely were pretty interesting to look at, but was a little stressful too, because when a gun went missing, everybody was like, fingers were pointing at me, and I was like, oh crap. I worked it. I had my own little section in the whole warehouse that was caged, and I had the key to it, and so like nobody could like get in and out of it besides me and a couple other guys. And so
is that one of the keys that you lost on our skiing adventure?
No, I think this was before I got into that.
Right. That's a story for another time.
Yeah, we'll bring that up next time, but definitely a
maybe
good
not
job.
next time, down the road.
I would highly recommend it to any college students in Logan.
All right. So we're gonna have a little message here. You know, we're gonna try to think you guys think that we have a. I want you guys to come up with what you think is one of the key things that makes a job either good or bad. Like what you would tell someone, like, hey, if you're going into a job, or hey, your job sucks because of these things. Like what are those key things to look at? For me, I think like looking at your coworkers who you have to interact with every day. Like if you hate the people you interact with every day, it doesn't matter what you're doing, you're gonna hate your life. That's my first thought. The second thought is management, and how your manager, because I've had jobs that should have been boring, but I have, and they were just like, hey, yeah, I know this job sucks. Like, here's how we're gonna make it kind of fun. And I've had managers that are like, this job sucks, and I'm gonna make it even worse because I don't know what I'm doing. Just like the specifically when I had the worst schedule possible at Krispy Kreme. But yeah, so those are my thoughts. Trent, Tyler, either of you ready? Did I give you enough time to think of something?
Probably say maybe something that's monotonous, I suppose. Like you're doing the exact same thing.
Is bad or is good?
We'll say, what I mean by bad, I'm saying this as bad. So if you're doing the same exact thing within we'll say about call it a 2-minute period, and you're doing that over and over again all day long, that does not make a job interesting at all. If you're doing the same thing and it lasts like 15 minutes or 20 minutes, and you can get through that. But when you're doing something that lasts just like a couple of minutes, I mean, you're going to be bored by the first hour type of thing.
Sorry. Yeah, keep going.
No, go for it.
I was just I've had siblings that had jobs where their job was to put stickers on items. And so that's like, it's literally a 20-second task. Taking
Is it like the same Same
The same
item?
sticker, the same item.
Oh no.
Like putting barcodes. I think it was barcode stickers on like little tiny machine parts.
Oh,
that
see,
were
like
out of the factory.
at
That
Owls,
just-
at Owls, I would put stickers on stuff, but it wasn't the same stuff, and I enjoyed
It wasn't the
that.
same, and that wasn't you. That was not an 8-hour shift.
No, that was
Putting
like
stickers on.
a 30-minute task, and it would.
Yeah.
But yeah, if it was the same thing all day, oh my.
No, or if you're
I
looking
think
at like
I think my sister lasted about 2 days at that, and then she was going crazy, like literally.
no, monotonous just doesn't. I mean, it's okay to do the same thing over and over again, just not within a super short period. If you're doing the same thing over and over again 500 times a day, yeah, there's something wrong with that, and it's just not what I want to be doing ever. If you're doing the same thing over and over again like 20 times a day, 30, even 50 times a day, that's okay. Once you get above that, that's too much.
Oh man. All right, Trent, your thoughts?
I think my thought for the best kind of job is the people you work with. Like at Owls, it was a lot of fun because like I would scan stuff and talk to people all day. And at my current job, lots of fun people, makes the job interesting and it makes the day go by better. And you're not like dreading going into work. Because if you have like terrible people to work with, you're just like dead quiet all day and you don't want to be there and you don't want to talk to anybody.
Exactly. That one works both ways. That's either good or bad.
Yeah.
If you just don't want to talk to anyone, it's just going to be like, well, this just kind of sucks all day long. But if you got good people, it's going to be great. So it just kind of goes both ways.
Yeah. The hard part about that is you can't really know that before you get a job. You just kind of show up a month in,
Nope.
you'll either love or hate the job.
No way to
suck.
look into it. You could even get a job and have it be that the same exact job that you do has a really good team and has a really good team, and you just really like the people you like, but you just got unlucky and you got the crappy manager that hates life and makes everyone's life miserable.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's a wrap for us on this episode of This week's Didn't We Just have the worst job? Have the worst job? Have the best job? We talked about all of it and in between. Don't worry, we'll be back with some more random conversations and anything else that comes to mind. We got lots of things that no one needs to hear, but we're happy to share them. If you like what you heard, make sure to follow, subscribe, or whatever button they got on your platform. And if you liked what you heard, if you liked having a little more serious, I feel like we had a little more serious talks here, a little less interrupting. Let us know if you liked that. Let us know if you liked first episode where we're all making fun of each other a little bit more. Let us know if there's anything you want us to talk about. Let us know if these life lessons that we've learned actually helps you, or if you have any other similar experiences, or specifically if you've had the worst job ever and can top all of our stories. Let us know. Until next time, thanks for hanging out with us. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
See ya.
Quack.